What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Hyundai Kona SEL all-wheel drive. Huge thank you to Scott Lee over at Safford Hyundai of Springfield, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Kona or any Hyundai product, I'll be sure to have Scott's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Hyundai Kona SEL all-wheel drive, and this particular one has been painted in Neoteric yellow, which looks more green here in person. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, the Kona got redesigned inside and out, and you get a little bit more tech with the 2024 model year. But as standard with the SEL, you get LED daytime running lights as well as LED projector headlights with high beam assist and standard turn signals. Now, taking a step back and to the left, you can kind of tell, or you may think, that this would be an electric vehicle considering there's not much of a front grille, but you would be wrong because you do get active grille shutters. So when you start this vehicle up, both of these grille shutters open up, and that is what feeds air into the engine. So it's kind of interesting because, again, it looks kind of electric with that futuristic daytime running light bar up top there. But again, you do get these things that open up, and that feeds air into the engine. But now, taking a step back, you can see you get a satin black front fascia with that gray accenting. So you get the gray accent color trim piece there as well as on this side as well. And then that's kind of about it for what we got going on up here at the front end. You can see it's a very simplistic design, and that's kind of why it reminds me of an EV, because EVs are relatively simplistic. This is a gas-powered Kona, and it looks very similar to an EV vehicle, you know what I'm saying, with that totally closed off front end. But anyways, like I mentioned, this one's been optioned with all-wheel drive, and with all-wheel drive optioned, you get 8.1 inches of ground clearance, whereas I believe with the front-wheel drive variant, you get something like 6.7 or something like that. But anyways, moving on from there, coming down the side, you get satin black wheel arch moldings, and then these wheels are the standard and the only wheels you can get with the SEL, and they are an 18-inch gloss black with machine accent wheel, and these wheels are wrapped in 215/55 Kumo Solus TA51 all-season tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. That is what the tread pattern looks like. Here's another view of the wheel face, and then coming up to our side view mirrors, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the right hand side of your passenger side mirror on that side. Kind of about it for what we got going on here with these side view mirrors. Now, taking a step back, here's a little side profile shot of what we got going on here. So you may be able to tell at the top, you get these black roof rails. They're kind of like more of a satin black. And then coming down a little bit, you get that satin black window trim. You also get body color door handles with keyless access. And then you get that kind of that straight line that goes through both of your doors, kind of like at an X in a way. And then coming down, you get that satin black door cladding, which leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings here at the rear end. You also do get a fuel door here. To open up your fuel door, you have to go into the interior and pull up on this right here, and then that gives you access into your fuel door, but you do not get a capless filler neck. You still got to twist this thing off. Again, it's very easy to do, but I just figured I may point that out to those interested. And then that locks back into position, and then here's a rear 3/4 shot of the 2024 Kona. As you may be able to tell, at the top of the roof back here, you get a gloss black shark fin antenna. You get a body color roof spoiler. You also get LED combination taillights back here, as well as satin chrome badging on your manual lift gate. Just beneath your Hyundai logo is where you will find your backup camera, and then just to the right of your backup camera, you'll feel a little pad, and if you press on that pad and pull up, your manual lift gate will open up. So you do not get a power lift gate, but up top here you do get a cargo cover, and then you do have a couple options back here that are so nicely laid out. So we're going to walk through a couple of these options. So this vehicle's been optioned with the $210 carpeted floor mats, which I'm kind of surprised do not come standard. So with these carpeted floor mats, you get that white Kona script that's a look at that. And then you also have the $55 cargo net, which I believe is inside of this box here. This one also has the $120 cargo tray, which is basically like a floor mat for your cargo area. That's a look at what that is. I apologize, we got a train going by right now. And then this also has the optional $70 roadside assistance kit, which is what this thing is right here. It's a nice little tool bag almost in a way. I'll put on screen what you get with the roadside assistance kit. Then this also has the $30 first aid kit, which is what this is right here. I'll also show you on screen what you get with that as well. And then underneath here, last but not least, this also has been optioned with the $70 wheel locks, which are right here. I apologize about that. 70 bucks for these wheel locks. And then underneath all of that, you get your spare tire, you get your jack. This is a temporary spare tire, so it is not a full-size spare tire, but at least you do get a spare tire. It seems like nowadays a lot of vehicles are doing away with spare tires, and they're kind of doing like these tire inflator kits. But this one again has that temporary spare tire. Then you get a halogen light on the driver's side of the trunk. You get a little bit of storage space down in there. It's about 4 inches deep. And then same thing on this side as well. Then your little grocery bag hook there, another one there, and then last but not least, you also get one there. And I would say if you, or actually there's two on each side. And then if you took this cargo cover out, I would say you could probably fit maybe 6 carry-on suitcases back here. Maybe less, just because of this sloping roof design may take away from a little bit of that vertical storage space. But other than that, pretty decent amount of storage space considering the size of this vehicle. But now, closing that back up, you can see you get your 8-track badging. That is basically signifying that this is all-wheel drive. That badge right there will cost you 1,500 bucks. And then coming down just a little bit more, you also get this satin black bumper, and that kind of about does it for the exterior of the 2024 Kona SEL. Let me know what your opinions are on the design of the 2024 Kona. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Color aside, let me know your opinions in the comment section down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder that makes 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an intelligent variable transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 9.2 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 26 miles per gallon in the city, 29 miles per gallon on the highway for 27 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. If you did want all-wheel drive, let's say if you live in the Northeast, you live in a colder climate that may snow occasionally, all-wheel drive will run you an additional $1,500 over the front-wheel drive, which comes standard with the SEL. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your support. I put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, so if you've enjoyed this video, if you've learned anything from this video, please just take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. Likes and comments look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow, so I'd appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But with that stuff said, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and the vehicle will unlock. You can press on that very same button again, and now the vehicle is locked. Now I want to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob. So obviously you have your unlock and your lock functions, you have your panic function, but you also get a remote start function. So if you wanted to remote start the vehicle, you have to lock it first, press and hold on this button, and it'll fire up. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. But now let's take a look at what the driver's side door panel looks like. So this is what the door panel looks like. Pretty much the entire door panel is that satin black plastic material. You get a satin black door handle. You have your side view mirror controls right here. You have your unlock and your lock functions. You have an automatic up and down driver window. All the other windows are not automatic up or down. This button is to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get a spot, you can set a water bottle, and you get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space. Now, taking a look at the interior, you do get a cloth interior, but you do get a power driver seat with power lumbar, and here are your controls for that. Again, if you wanted to open up your fuel door, you'd pull up on that, and then the fuel door would pop open. But now, let's step into the interior and see what the interior has to offer. So I'm gonna close that door here. And now we're just gonna get into it, right? So click on that button there, and now the vehicle is locked. One thing that I do like about this vehicle is when you remote start it, and you step in and you close the door, the interior turns on, which normally on a vehicle that you remote start, you still got to go through the same sequence of pushing the button to start and then getting access into everything. But with this, you just step in, close the door, and everything is accessible, which is pretty cool. Now, coming over to here, you have a, what's this called? An HVAC vent. Then these buttons here are to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster, as well as your backlit buttons. This is your traction control on or off button. This is your hill descent control button. This is your electronic parking brake. So if you pull on it like this, the parking brake will engage. If you wanted to disengage it, you have to push your foot down on the brake and then push against that, and then the parking brake will disengage. Coming over to here, if you flip this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position, which is about like right there for me. Once found, lock it back into place, and now the steering wheel will not move. But now let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. Not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your high beam control stock and your headlight control stock. So coming all the way down, that is headlights off, that is headlights automatic, that is parking lights on, and all the way up is headlights in the always on position. I like to leave it in automatic. I think the vehicle does a good job at turning it on when need be. And then zooming back out, I believe this is a leather wrapped steering wheel. At least it feels like that in my hand. It could very well be synthetic leather, but it feels like real leather. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on this. And then you can see these 4 dots right here. That is basically Morse code for H. And H obviously is the Hyundai logo. So that is what that is there in Morse code. Now, come into this side of the steering wheel. You have your cruise control settings. So this controls here are for your cruise control. And then if you click on this and you have the this scroll knob here and this OK button, all of these buttons here are to control your 4.2-inch productivity screen. And then moving to this side of the steering wheel, these buttons here are configurable. So basically if I click on this, it's gonna bring me up into this screen, and basically I can choose what this button does. So I can click that button and it might, I could select it to end or reject a phone call. I could press that button and it would bring me into privacy mode, or my home screen, or my media on or off, or quiet mode. So basically whenever you click this button, it's a configurable button, so you can select what it does, but this is the list of things to select. Otherwise, right now it is on none. So any of those things, that's what that button can be. And basically this mode button is the same thing, but it gives you a different menu of functions to choose from when you click that button. So right now, if I click that button, I could bring it into XM, or if I click that button, I could bring it into FM, or sounds of nature, phone projection, Bluetooth audio. But any of these things right here are what this button could be. But right now it's set to none. But right now, if I push up on that, that is going to go backwards on a track. And if I push down, that is going to go forwards on a track. So it's kind of counterintuitive of what you think it would be. And then this is your volume control. So if you volume up, you can volume down. And then if you press on that, that is going to mute the audio system. And then if I click on this phone button right here, it's going to bring my phone screen on the infotainment screen. So I don't want to mess with that right now. Anyway, if I click that, it's going to bring me into my phone screen on this screen. And then this is to speak to the vehicle. This is your windshield wiper control stock for your front windshield wipers and your rear wiper. And now let's move into our gauge cluster. So you would think that this is a digital gauge cluster, right? Well, it is technically not. So the center screen is digital, but these are like just, you know, there, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So if you got the convenience package, then this would be a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. But for right now, it's just a 4.2-inch productivity screen. So on the left, you have your speedometer, as well as your digital speedometer readout, and your fuel gauge down there. And then on this side, you have your tachometer and your coolant temperature gauge. But moving into this center screen, right now it's displaying the fuel range, the transmission status stuff, the driver assistance stuff, the speed limit sign, the ambient exterior temperature, and the odometer. Now again, to control this screen, you have these controls over here. So if I click on this like page button, that will bring me now into this screen. So right now, oh, you get an Osprey. You see that? You get one of those things that's like a helicopter, but also a plane at the same time. That thing is pretty sweet. But anyways, sorry, I get distracted pretty easily. This is basically showing you the torque split between the front and the rear wheels with the all-wheel drive system. So let's say you floor it. Basically, all of these things will highlight. However, majority of the time, you're giving it 25% throttle. It's probably going to show in the majority like 2 boxes up top here. and it won't show anything down there. It's basically showing you which wheels are powering the vehicle forward at that given time. Clicking this button one more time, I want to go back into that screen. You can scroll down one, and then you can see your tire pressure stuff. Clicking this button again, it's going to bring me into my current trip stuff, my since refueling information, and since last reset. And then back, this is the other screen. If I press and hold OK, it's going to bring me into my driver assistance settings. So you can see your driver assistance settings on this side of the screen there. But that's kind of about it for what we got going on there. Moving over to here, let me go back into the home screen. This is your 12.3-inch infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. If you got the convenience package, you would get built-in navigation. But, okay, if I swipe, like click up top here, excuse me, it's gonna show you this screen. Then you have your date, you get your time over there. I'm going to X back out of that. Then you get your XM stuff, your phone stuff, phone projection. So this says wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. So if I click on that, it's going to tell me I need a wire, blah, blah, blah. That is what that does there. Click that. And then you also have your valet mode, your vehicle diagnostic stuff. So it's going to show you that. I don't want to do that right now, though. So I'm going to cancel back out of that, and then you have your maintenance stuff, notifications. You get your settings throughout here. You get your vehicle settings. But if I click on that search bar, let's say I wanted to go into, let's say, driver assistance settings, it's going to bring up my driver assistance settings. So it just makes things very easy by just searching for it rather than having to navigate throughout all of these different menus here. Even though it's very easy to use, it's just easier just to click that search button up top there and search for what you need to search for. But very easy to use screen. It's very intuitive, very simple. You can see not very much going on that screen. But coming down just a little bit more, you have your 2 HVAC vents. Then you have like this brushed aluminum type of trim, but it's really like a plastic. You get your push button, start button. You have your volume control knob, your tuning control knob, and then you have all of these physical buttons here. So you can go into home, map, search. So if I click on search, it's going to bring me into this screen. So I can type in my driver assistance if I'm looking for that. So it just makes things very easy. And then you got your media stuff. It's going to bring you into like your Bluetooth, AM, FM, so on and so forth, XM. Then you got your hazard button. These are your tuning controls as well, so you can track. Then this is another configurable button here. You can see this one is not filled in, but the button on the steering wheel is filled in. So this is like one of these buttons again. It's just a different menu of options that you can choose from. So when I click on that button, it can bring me into display on or off. I can bring it into quiet mode, phone projection, phone, driver assistance settings, Bluetooth audio. So when I click that button, again, that's another configurable button. You can choose between any of these things on that screen. And then you also have your setup button, brings you into the settings screen. And that's kind of about it for these physical controls here. Coming down a little bit more, as standard with this vehicle, you get dual zone automatic climate control. So this is your physical climate control stack. I really like how Hyundai did not do away with the physical climate controls. Hyundai, this is an absolute win. I love the physical controls. I'll show you what the screen looks like when it is on. It displays the temperatures, it displays where the fan is blowing, and then it also displays the fan speed there as well. And then you get your off button and then all of these physical controls. Very nice. Coming down a little bit more, this lets you know who is buckled and who is not buckled. Then you get a USB-C port, you get another USB-C port, and then if I press on that, you get a 12-volt power outlet behind there, and then you get a good amount of storage space down in here. You could set a phone. I got my wind mic here. You could set a wind mic. And then back and back out of that, you can see you get that little blue light that shines up onto your gear shifter. So this is obviously your gear shifter. If you wanted to go into manual mode, you'd go into drive and then flip this over to the left, and then you'd push up to upshift and pull down to downshift, and that is it for that. Coming over to here, if I push up, you have your different drive modes. You have your normal mode, your sport mode, and your snow mode. So you can see sport mode lights everything up in red, looks very sporty. I'm gonna leave it in normal mode for right now, but again, you get those 3 different drive modes. And then this is your center lock. This is kind of like a center locking differential in a way. It's supposed to be better for off-road, better for the snow and stuff like that. So that is what that button does. And then if I click this, that is going to pop up my backup camera. Click that button again, the backup camera is going to go away. And then this is your auto hold button. So basically, if you press on this button, let's say you're stuck in traffic on I-95 and you're not going anywhere, but every 30 seconds you're moving forward. Basically, if you click on that button, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system, just to make it a little bit easier on that commute where it's standstill traffic. It's a very, very nice feature. And then coming back a little bit more, you get these 2 cup holders here. But one thing that I like about this cup holder area is that you have a spot you can set your phone there, but you can also set your phone like that as well. and here. So you have 3 different spots. You can set 3 different phones. So very cool. I like the attention to detail for people with phones. Obviously, everybody's got a phone nowadays. And then you get a good amount of storage space down in there as well. So if I pop this open, you get a little shelf up top here. You can set coins or, you know, hand sanitizer, stuff like that, small little products. And then you can also take that out, and then you get just a ton of storage space down under there. But closing that back up, coming over here, you get a upper little shelf. So if I set my phone there, I have iPhone 14 Pro Max. You can see the phone fits up there, no problem. One thing I wanted to go back up to the dash is that basically a plastic dash, but you, I believe, get a speaker here. You get another speaker there. Those are your tweeters. And then coming back down to this shelf, you get 4 HVAC vents on the dash. 1, that's 2, and then that's the 4th one over there. Opening this up, you get your glove box. Very small glove box. I'm actually kind of surprised. Not that much storage space in the glove box, but you'll still be able to fit your napkins on top of your owner's manual. You can also fit some utensils like a knife, fork, and spoon. Just, you know, the essentials, but just be mindful. There's not that much storage space in there, but I do like how you do get an LED light in that glove box. Up top here, you just get a standard rear view mirror. It looks auto dimming, but it is not auto dimming. Up top here, you got your SOS button. You get this button right here. This is your blue link button. It's basically like Hyundai's version of OnStar. You could think of it like that. And then driver gets a light, passenger gets a light, both of which are halogen. And then if I come over to here and I flip that to the left, that is your instant dome light on button. It turns on all the interior dome lights. And then if I have this just sitting flush, like in the middle like that, now when I open up the doors, the interior lights will turn on when I open up the door. However, if I flip this to the right, now when I open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. So basically these are your light settings right up top there. And then opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with a vanity light. You just have to turn the vanity light on manually by the click of that button. But I do like to see that on this vehicle you get a vanity light. I'm actually surprised that you do, and that's definitely a positive. Then here, you can set a paper product. You could set, you know, a business card or something like that. And then opening this up, you get your visor that does slide forwards and backwards. I like that as well. You get an OPU panel here for your driver. The passenger also gets an OPU panel, and I believe that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. So I want to go over a couple things that you get as standard, just a couple things I figured I might highlight. So as standard with this vehicle, you get the dual zone automatic climate control system. You get the power driver seat with the power lumbar. You get the keyless access and the push button start, as well as Sirius XM. One, you know, package you might want to look into getting without having to spend a ton of more money would be the convenience package. You can see what you get with that. A bunch of different nice little features that you don't necessarily need, but definitely, you know, aid to the premiumness of the vehicle and just make it a little bit nicer without breaking the bank. But now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at whatever you want to. Take a look at the couple accessories this vehicle has, as well as everything you get as standard, the fuel economy. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Kona SEL all-wheel drive is spec'd is $28,840. Let me know what you think of that price in the comment section down below. I think that's a pretty good value. You know, not very many vehicles left in today's market under $30,000. I mean, there are a few, but as time goes on, there's less and less. So I think this is a pretty nice vehicle for just under $30,000. Let me know what your opinion is of that in the comments down below. But before we get into the drive, I want to show you what we got going on here in the rear seats. So let's pop open this rear door. Again, just like the front, the entire door panel is pretty much some plastic material. Let's see how far these rear windows go down. I do like how the window goes all the way down, and then you also get a cup holder on the door as well as a speaker. Now, this is what these rear seats look like. Let's step in, see what we got going on back here. So up top here, you get an OPU panel and a spot you can set your dry cleaning. You also get a dome light back here as well. And then on this side, you get an OPU panel, but you do not get a spot you can set your dry cleaning. I am 5'9" and I am adjusted behind myself. I've got quite a bit of knee and leg room. Here's another view of my knee and leg room. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell, but you do not get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, and you do not get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat either. But you get 2 HVAC vents here. You get 2 USB-C ports down in there and a spot you can set a phone while it is charging. And then folding this down, you get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and then this armrest is nicely padded. It's firm, but it's padded. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got. Let's see if we can recline these seats. If I pull up on that, okay, these seats do recline. So you can get a little bit more reclinability, but really not all that much more. But you can squeak out a little bit more reclinability if you pull up on that thing right there. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here with the Kona. So, you know, we talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. About 35% throttle. Decently quick considering that wasn't full throttle. You know, don't expect it to be the fastest thing in the world. Obviously, you know, it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder making less than 150 horsepower, but it's quick enough. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't care about how quick a vehicle is or how fast a vehicle is, and you just need something that's going to get you from point A to point B efficiently, well, this might be the vehicle for you. It might not be, you know. I would say you just want to go out and test drive it, see what your thoughts and opinions are of it. But I would say that it is pretty comfortable. It's smooth. It's got lane centering as standard. You also get your blind spot monitoring as standard. You get a backup camera. The sound system's pretty decent. Could be better, but it's not the worst that I've heard. Not the best that I've heard either. It's right there, smack dab in the middle. It's what you would expect a vehicle at this price point to sound like, you know, sound system wise. So not really going to complain about the sound system because it's actually pretty decent for what it is. Moving on from there, you know, this vehicle is just simple. You know what I mean? It doesn't have all the frills and all the, you know, fancy features that you get in some other vehicles, obviously, that cost more money. But this has everything that you need and a little bit more. You know, you don't necessarily need blind spot monitoring, but this has blind spot monitoring as standard. You don't need, you know, this fancy, you know, infotainment system right here, but you got it. But I also do like how you have the physical volume control knob in easy access to the driver. That is a big thing for me. I really like that. And then you also have the volume controls on the steering wheel as well, which makes things very easy. So again, I would say that the seats are comfortable, but I would say maybe they are maybe on the firmer side of things, but they're not too firm, but they're not too cushy as well. So I'd say that's a good thing. I could see myself being comfortable on a 5-hour road trip in these seats. Not a problem. Now, moving on from there, you can also go into manual mode, flipping that over. You can downshift the transmission. You can hear it's downshifting. Then you can upshift it as well. But again, don't expect this thing to be the fastest thing on the road. And I don't really think that you are if you're buying a vehicle like this. You kind of know what you're expecting power level wise. You know what you're expecting feature wise. This is one step above the base model. So think about that as you will. So I think you get a good mix of features here. If you're not trying to break the bank, you're trying to get a new vehicle, something that's nice, something that's comfortable, something that can carry around your family, that's not going to break the bank. This is a nice vehicle for that. You know what I mean? Again, don't expect it to have all the fancy items that you get on like a $35,000, $40,000 car. And if you do expect that, well, then you're going to want to get a higher trim level. If you want a little bit more power, you might want to look into getting the N line. I believe that makes 190 some horsepower. So about 40 to 50 more horsepower than this. I think it's like 45 more horsepower. So if you need a little bit more power, you get the N line. That I believe is one trim level above this. Now what I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna pull out onto this road and I'm gonna do a nice little full throttle acceleration to the left so you can see, you know, what this is like if you really do need to get on it in traffic. Let's say you had a merge or something like that. Well, we're gonna test the full on power of what we get, but again, we do got a little bit of traffic, so I might have to cut out until everybody's gone by. So stand by. All right, here we go. I'm gonna wait for this car to go. Then we give them some time, and now I'm gonna floor it. And that's a 60 miles an hour right there. So again, not the fastest thing in the world, but it'll get you from point A to point B comfortably and efficiently. So if that is what you're looking for, then you may want to go out and test drive this. I'm not saying you want to buy one, but you may want to put it on your short list, because I can't tell you what you like and what you don't like, but I can tell you what my thoughts and opinions are. So I'd say the seats are comfortable. Power is kind of lackluster, but it'll get you where you need to go. And if you don't really care about power and you're just looking for something that's going to get you around town, get you from work or get you from school to home, stuff like that, I think this has got enough power to do those kinds of things. But comfortable ride, comfortable seat. It's got everything that you want, or maybe not everything that you want, but it's got everything that you need and a little bit more. So it's a nice vehicle. You know, looks are subjective, so whatever your thoughts are on the looks, you know, they are what they are. You know, I think this thing looks kind of like an EV. It's just it's kind of interesting looking, so I'll leave it at that. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get to my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from this video, please just take a second, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button. Again, the likes and comments look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and in turn, that is what helps me grow. So again, I would really appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.